Welcome everyone to a special webinar session titled Unlocking Business Potential with Open IT Innovation, presented by Mint in collaboration with Kyndryl+Red Hat. In an era characterized by relentless change and unfathomable possibilities, every organization is always on the hunt to unlock untapped potential of new technologies and innovations to remain relevant and to succeed. At the forefront of this quest lies the formidable concept of open IT innovation, a paradigm shifting approach that transcends traditional boundaries, harnessing the collective genius of diverse minds to propel businesses towards new horizons of achievement. Today, we will delve deep into the intricate fabric of open IT innovation, dissecting its nuances, unraveling its mysteries, and understand ways to harness its true potential. We shall explore the best practices that underpin the rapid modernization and seamless management of IT infrastructure, the lifeblood of organizational agility and resilience. For this insightful session, we have two industry leaders with us: Dharani Balan Gurunathan, Global Business Development Leader of Red Hat Alliance from Kyndryl, who is relentlessly reinventing business leader, avid adopter of advocate of new technology that helps clients solve their business challenges. And we also have Amita Roy, Senior Director Solutions Architecture from Red Hat. Amita Roy is a seasoned leader in the solution architecture space with expertise in leveraging open source technologies to drive innovation and agility within the enterprise. Welcome, both of you, to Unlocking Business Potential with Open IT Innovation. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nisha.
We are super eager to understand how companies are leveraging open source technologies for innovation. So, without further ado, I'm going to start off and ask Dharni Walan, how do you identify which emerging technologies have the potential to address your clients' business challenges effectively?
Thanks for having me. Artificial intelligence is rapidly transforming business. Very similar to how public cloud services is transforming IT adoption landscapes since half a decade. Thanks to OpenAI's ChatGPT and a quick response by Google's Gemini, NVIDIA and AMD's remarkable AI task handling chip technology, every boardroom is discussing how to responsibly harness artificial intelligence. AI is a boon if rightly trained and used. Kyndryl has a flourishing apps data and AI practice, and our offers range from consulting based advisory services to managed operational services for clients. So the most appropriate and emerging technology right now, that is artificial intelligence, is something that we make a reality for our customers. The way we choose the technology is through what we call Kyndryl Vital. It's a process tool to determine and agree based on clients' appetite and ability to adopt worldwide technology trends that have yielded beneficial outcome.
So AI is something that's been around for some time. Can you tell us how are you marrying AI and open source innovation for your clients?
Great. I mean, AI essentially underpins a huge lot of activities, starting from building new business tasks for customers, all the way up onto how to kind of operationally handle IT functions for the customer. Now, in this particular space, Kyndryl has always been a big adopter of helping our customers go driving digitalization for our customers through open innovation. And this is something that we complement with world-class services that Kyndryl is able to kind of bring to the customer, right? Our strategic alliance with Red Hat essentially helps bring the technology capability and Our services experience and expertise over the last several decades essentially help the customers innovate. Kyndryl has a global center of competence for open source Red Hat technologies across US, Europe, and India, covering all of Asia. More than 25 plus certified developers, architects, and distinguished engineers, only part of this center of competence dedicated to open technology. We've developed
Great.
more than 3,000 playbooks for Red Hat Ansible automation platform that serves as one of the pillar of advanced delivery. We drive higher than about a billion automation tasks that are event and active insights driven, used to manage more than 600,000 plus endpoints, as the count goes end of second quarter last year.
That's amazing. Can you elaborate on a specific case where Kyndryl plus Red Hat Alliance has enabled a client to overcome a significant business challenge and showcasing the power of collaborations between the two organizations?
Oh, we have several, primarily in the banking and in the financial services space, and extend to telecom as well. But let me pick up a banking case. The case where we kind of worked with a very large bank in the Philippines, which is the Bank of Philippine Islands. We have a 10 plus years of strategic relationship with Bank of Philippine Islands. Red Hat and Kyndryl got together to kind of help the customer on multiple new initiatives. One of the core ones being how do we help the customer provide inclusive banking to their end customers. And that was about not getting restricted to brick and mortar teller counters, but to kind of extend to where the banking needs are. And we enabled this capability through Red Hat's OpenShift technology uh, by going ahead and helping the customer innovate and provide virtual teller services. This immediately expanded the ability for the bank to go ahead and meet the customer where they are. And in this way, inclusive banking essentially took shape in Philippines. As you would know, Philippines is a very large archipelago of several islands. So connectivity was one which was a big question mark, which we had to kind of deal with, and that's where Kyndryl infrastructure services essentially um, help the customer to kind of have a connectivity solution, even in the remotest place, thereby enabling both mobility as well as connectivity.
Yes, Dharani Balan, could you quickly give us a quick brief of what's a virtual teller and how does it bring either efficiency or scales to the operation of the bank?
Oh, excellent. Virtual teller is a capability where you move the brick and mortar capability, which typically are found in your bank branches, right? Where you essentially walk into a bank branch to go ahead and perform a particular service. And the teller behind the counter essentially kind of provides you services as the bank employee. A virtual teller essentially kind of brings this capability onto a mobile solution wherein the bank is able to reach out to the consumer and is able to enroll, uh, you know, in remote people in remote areas into the banking system itself. And this hereby helps in inclusive banking and also extend almost all the services which you typically find on a behind a brick and mortar teller at the doorstep of the customer.
So it's basically taking the bank to the customer on his handheld device,
That's
right?
right.
All
Correct.
right. So, in your experience, what are the key factors that contribute to a successful partnership between technology providers like Red Hat and service providers like Kyndryl, especially in the context of driving innovation and business growth?
Good question. Kyndryl is one of the largest, if not the largest, leaving IBM, global system integrator for Red Hat technologies. As I said, we've had very early experience of working with Red Hat. Even before Red Hat got acquired by IBM, um, and even before Kyndryl spun off as a separate entity from IBM. As part of this whole exercise, we've kind of always made sure that the customer is in the center, as we keep kind of building innovative solutions for the customer. We are able to kind of collaborate and to forecast what technology disruptions may potentially occur in the market. How do we prepare for it? Be agile in going ahead and embracing that particular capability, and be in a position to devise solutions around that, right? So this is something that kind of keeps both of us at the forefront of technology, and be in a position to kind of offer solutions to the customer which are absolutely relevant, uh, and are proven in this particular case. Let me give an example. We saw the advent of public cloud adoption in a big way. Kyndryl essentially kind of built a significant amount of services capabilities, and it started kind of building out uh, strategic partnerships with very large cloud providers, public cloud providers, namely Amazon, uh, Microsoft, and Google. And on the other side, we had Red Hat develop offers and services on these public cloud platforms as well. Example, there is an offering from Red Hat, which is ROSA, which is Red Hat OpenShift on Amazon, which is a managed Red Hat OpenShift service or a platform on Amazon public cloud, offered by Red Hat. And then there is another solution, which is ARO, which is Azure Red Hat OpenShift, which is managed by Microsoft and is offered as a service. These collaborations essentially were entered by Red Hat with these public cloud providers. And we have a similar solution on Google as well. Now, given this ability to kind of forecast and see where the market is heading and what is best suited for the customer, Kyndryl is able to build world-class solution offers and develop services capabilities, and that gets complemented with Red Hat building its own products and suits on similar technology adoptions. And having done that, we are able to kind of jointly address the customer space and provide innovation to the customer, which they keenly look for. Another example over there is when we started looking at AI as an emerging technology. We were able to kind of really build up. As I talked about, Kyndryl has a very strong and a robust practice around what we call app data and AI. These three come together as a practice, and we are able to kind of provide solutions to the customer on a worldwide basis with consistency and with effective, harnessing the best practices which we kind of build over multiple customer engagements. And on the other hand, we had Red Hat immediately enhance their product capability on OpenShift to adopt AI through Watson X and through support for NVIDIA AI co-processors, extending API-based interface into OpenAI and Gemini as well.
Right. Ms. Dharni Balan, you spoke about forecasting what your clients are going to need or what technology is going to serve them best. How do you ensure that your approach to business development remains agile and adaptable to meet the changing needs and demands of your clients?
Absolutely right. I mean, we do have a think tank inside Kyndryl which constantly looks at what kind of technology is emerging and what kind of technology is likely to kind of go ahead and deliver maximum business value to the customers. And we adopt our services offering development and capabilities around this to kind of make sure that the customers kind of get to the best value out of these kind of embracing these kind of technology. And in order to do that, we've forged strategic alliances across multiple technology providers, um, almost all the major public cloud providers, almost all the significantly large hybrid cloud providers, Red Hat being one of the leaders in this particular space, where we have to kind of deal with modernizing applications, containerizing applications, and making it available to the customers. And then we kind of look at what kind of AI technologies and what kind of trends are happening on the hardware platform end. That involves NVIDIA, it involves Dell. So we are able to kind of bring as a glue multiple technology partners together to essentially evolve and develop a solution. And that kind of becomes the underpinning capability for us to kind of offer agile solutions into the market.
Right. So, Siddharthi, you spoke about your in-house think tank. So, looking ahead, what are the upcoming trends or technologies that you believe will have a significant impact on businesses, and how do you envision leveraging them to drive value for your clients?
Oh, wow, that's a tough question, but it's a good one. What I will do is I'll try to present my opinion, right? I mean, it may not represent completely my company or partner opinion as yet, but maybe what I say could become a future trend, right? I believe the next evolution or disruption to technology around the horizon is around quantum computing. Quantum computing could have very large scale impact on society at large. The most talked about in this area is around quantum cryptography. NIST in the US is already trying to kind of develop standards and are very near releasing those standards on quantum cryptography. Largely because massive scale quantum computers have an ability to kind of immediately disrupt or decrypt in a very short window of time existing cryptographic solutions. So that is something which is going to help enable our customers and their users to kind of protect their data and be in a position to conduct their cyber activities or cyber interactions in an absolutely safe manner. Another burgeoning field, while we talk about this, is how AI itself is shaping, and that's where we talk about the next step to AI. And in AI, in particular, specifically deep learning or in-depth neural networks, use quantum processing. This primarily helps bring efficiency. Right now, if you take a look at how most of your Gen AI or AGI plus solutions essentially work, a lot of them depend and perform tasks on a classical computing network, which works in what is called order of n to the power 3. This order of computing essentially kind of breaks down to order of n log n, which is a significant reduction in kind of computing needs, requirements, and therefore speed to kind of deliver value. And this will essentially help speed up making AI available. Neural networks kind of learn faster and deliver results faster on a quantum computing space. Well, how do I make it available to our customers? Well, the possibilities are massive. Kyndryl itself has an absolutely strong security and resiliency practice wherein we help customers perform safe IT. Extending that, we could potentially kind of start having these capabilities harnessed to doing various fantastic things in the world, like drug discovery, pointed precision disease cure, maybe cancer cure. I mean, there are research which is happening in this place where we're looking at quantum technology essentially to perform targeted cancer detection and cure. The next stages could be substantially advanced material compositions. I can keep going on, but that's what my personal feeling is, and I think that's what is a significant, impactful technology which will come, and is just about in the horizon.
Yes, for that we need a lot of compute power as well, and the right manpower to be able to, really shift things around, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, skill development is, I think, very critical. Ability to kind of pivot from how you look at your current skills and technology capabilities into the new age is something which is very important. And last but not the least, I think most important is to try and embrace technology and be in a position to constantly learn. Uh, as I said, relentlessly reinvent yourself.
Amita, it seems like you never sleep then. You're forever keeping up with what's happening and learning and learning and learning. But I want to come to you as the Senior Director of Solutions Architecture at Red Hat. You bring a wealth of experience in leveraging open source technologies to drive innovation. Can you give us an example of a innovative solution or a project that you've been involved in?
So, business innovation, as you know, is driven by big ideas, right? And today, businesses are moving faster than ever before. So, innovation really is, I think, only limited by one's imagination. And technology, open source communities, and newer ways of collaboration is driving business innovation. So it's hard to say whether it's the advances in technology that are giving birth to ideas to businesses in terms of what they can do better, or the other way around, right? So today, every organization in every geography and any industry, we are finding, can innovate and create more customer value. So for example, for me, very huge area that we have seen a lot of innovation happening is in the Indian banking industry, because technology is driving a totally new wave of disruption. Everything right from open banking to ubiquitous mobile technology, it's just changing the way banks are thinking about their interactions with the country, right? Just imagine, in December, UPI payments with customers, okay, has, I think, touched 12 billion transactions, okay? And if you look at all of 2023, then it was 117 billion, unprecedented anywhere in the world. So this is one big example I can see where there is innovation happening, and for a lot of uh, the aspirational Indian out there, for whom the mobile is their banking device, is their digital wallet. This has really changed the way things happen. And we are proud to have partnered with several banks on this journey as they brought UPI payments to the fore. And we continue to work with banks in terms of the next wave of disruption that could be around CBDC, where we're talking about digital currency.
In CBDC, you mean the digital currency the RBI is talking about?
The one where we're talking about carrying digital currency in your wallet, in your mobile phone, in your app.
All right.
Yeah.
You have a background in leading solution consulting teams for SaaS cloud applications. How do you approach the challenge of integrating open source technologies with existing enterprise systems?
So when you're talking about integrating with SaaS applications, there are platforms involved, there are services, and all of these are empowering organizations to build and run scalable applications, right? But the reality is that the current environment, it's very dynamic. So while some applications that are SaaS based, software as a service, they can be useful as turnkey standalone solutions. But in large organizations which are complex and they have complex application environments, these kind of silos sometimes become undesirable. So many organizations, they want to maintain some of their infrastructure on-prem. Either it could be because of data sovereignty issues, it could be because of cost, it could be because of perceived security or any other reasons, right? For example, we were talking about banking industry. So a financial institution, they may be using SaaS for their trading platform, but they may want to keep the risk management part of the system on-prem. So this allows the institution to be able to take advantage of, you know, low latency, high availability of the cloud for their trading platform, but at the same time, they maintain direct control over the risk data. So, what we try to do is we help ensure that no matter what is the hybrid mix of applications that our customers have, no matter what infrastructure they run on, in the cloud, in a public cloud, in a private cloud, on prem, on bare metal, or even at the edge. What we try to do is we give them that unified platform so that they can quickly build, modernize, connect, to applications, third party applications that they may need to work with, right? And we also make sure that we provide them very, very lightweight runtimes and, API first data streaming kind of technologies to make this whole thing work seamlessly. And then we also look at the underlying foundational operating system that we can provide that can cut across all these diverse environments, so that whatever they're doing, they can focus on the innovation part, on the applicability of bringing their services to the market faster, and they get abstracted from the underlying complexity of it all. So that's how we see, working with our customers with their SaaS applications and everything else that they have running in their environment.
Right. Amita, you spoke of what's happening in the banking space, and you have obviously banking clients.
Yeah.
Are there any concerns ever about their data being used even in an open source environment? Because like you said, banks may have regulatory restrictions where they have to store their data, etc. How do you manage this, the data security? Because it's not all open infra. You are merging both, right? Their enterprise apps plus what could be done in open source infra. So, are there concerns about data sovereignty?
There is always that concern with any regulated industry. So what we try to do is we make sure that, and that's the reason why we always advise customers on embracing what we call an open hybrid cloud, because it'll never be one size fits all, right? It'll never be a situation where they want to put everything on the cloud. There will always be a mix, but how to maintain that consistency? Because end of the day, if you are managing applications that have personally identifiable sensitive information, and that needs to remain on prem, but there is some amount of data that needs to interact with your, say, SaaS application that's in the cloud. How can we ensure that the right technologies are in place to be able to secure it all? And supposing a day comes tomorrow that you might want to then move this application to some other place, that's where we are talking to customers about how they can build a microservices based architecture with the right security, with the right secure content. And what we also do is we try to make sure that that security is inbuilt. It's not like a bolt on thing, right? We make sure that we are advising customers about the entire supply chain security. It's the entire supply chain, which means there are a lot of applications today that are downloading open source components and using them in applications. So what's happening is sometimes inadvertently something will creep into the production workload, and in the meanwhile we have detected that there is some vulnerability that has been identified, or there is a security risk. So what we're trying to do for customers is to be able to flag them off to them from their developer consoles itself, so that we can look at security holistically, not as a bolt on, integrated right from your operating system level at every layer. So we are talking about operating system, we are talking about a container platform integrated with data services, application services, everything that the developer is doing, everything that has to meet the compliance requirements of the organization, everything to be a holistic solution. And that's the way we are addressing it with customers.
That's remarkable. But for your customer, I'm sure it's not very complicated. You have it all streamlined for them. For a layman, it's sounding a little complicated. I want to understand, why should I use open source software at all? In your view, what are the primary benefits that enterprises can derive from adopting open source technologies, particularly in terms of innovation and agility?
Okay. First of all, because there's a lot of innovation happening in the open source community, lot of innovation. And when we're talking about open technologies, we're talking about loosely coupled uh, service-based architectures. We're making sure that these are lightweight, technology agnostic, communication that can happen between the components. And when we're talking about a container-based infrastructure, we are saying you should be able to quickly deploy it and scale it, as the capacity demands change. And at the same time, we want to provide portability. So when we're talking about it, and Dharni had talked about AI, and look at the leaps and bounds that AI has made in the last several months. So that kind of innovation, if you want to tap, you have no choice but to look at open source communities, because there are millions of projects out there that are focusing on this. And when we are also looking at the advances that we are seeing in 5G, for example, that is adding a whole new dimension to what we can do with edge computing. For the longest time, we've been talking about IoT and Industry 4.0, and there are millions of devices out there. Some of them are unmanaged at remote locations like oil and gas rigs, so there are device edges. So today, the kind of scale AI driven applications are able to bring about by leveraging edge computing architectures, infrastructures, so that some real time processing can happen at the edge, and everything does not have to go back to a centralized specialized data center, right? So we are talking about very custom small form factors that are there at device edges, so some amount of processing happening there. And then applications are able to take advantage of GPUs that might reside in the central data centers or in the cloud, and be able to take the best of both worlds to be able to really bring the value of AI to the edge. So if you base your entire architecture on open standards, if you're talking about open platforms, then you're making your whole architecture future proof. And the advantage is also that there is a huge ecosystem out there, and no one solution will fit what a customer needs. When you have a whole ecosystem of partners coming together, whether it is hardware accelerators that may come from the Intels, the Nvidias of the world, or when you're talking about SIs like Kyndryl, for example, that will bring specialized services to help the customers absorb and be able to actually make that move in the digital transformation journeys. Then open source technologies is the way to go. There is no vendor lock-in, and while I know it may sound very simplistic, but open source technologies are actually far, far, far more secure, because there is whole community that's innovating around it, and there's a lot of benefits that organizations can reap. And the advantage is also the customer advocacy. Customers, what they want to see, we are able to take that advocacy back into open source community projects and be able to steer some of the projects to be able to bring some of these capabilities of that the customers are looking for. So it's working both ways. So it ends up becoming a very symbiotic relationship with our customers and open source.
It sounds like a win-win for everyone. So,
It
how do you
is.
ensure alignment between technological solutions and business objectives when designing architectures for your clients? And what strategies do you employ to drive successful implementation and adoption as well?
Yeah. So when we're looking at a business problem, and that is where, like, see, for example, we were talking about AI, right? And today, when you're looking at skills, sometimes our customers feel they don't have enough skills relating to AI. But what they really have to look at it is not technology or coding skills, right? Today you have a lot of generative AI that can come about. We are talking about being able to elevate the expertise within the organization to be able to skill up on things like um, data bias, in terms of models explainability, in terms of understanding how they can get a very optimized infrastructure so that they can quickly deploy application services, so agile development methods, CI/CD, DevOps practices, how they can focus on building, delivering applications collaboratively. The point I was trying to make is there is collective expertise that is required. People who understand the business domain, people who are the data scientists that are quickly iterating through the machine learning models to come up with something that is workable. We need a whole organization to come together to be able to evaluate what is going to be the far reaching potential and the impact on the business outcomes, right? And for that we need to make it seamless. We have to break down the silos and make everybody work collaboratively. So businesses will have different priorities for the digital transformation, but what we are trying to do is, in order to help them on that journey, we try to make the whole organization across different roles work seamlessly from a platform standpoint, with cloud, build their applications with cloud native principles, and at the same time be able to innovate. We are trying to make sure that we bring enough automation so that the manual part and the mundane part of the work can be left to automation, and we can look at how we can elevate the people in the organization to work on much more higher value based work, rather than keep their heads down,
Mundane.
things that automation can very well take care of. So what we are trying to do is, with organizations, we try to tell them is, how can you increase the speed of your application delivery? Let's look at which are the applications that are more client focused. So what happens is, those are the ones that need to change fast, more rapidly, modernized, build in a cloud native manner. When I say cloud native manner, it's just best practices. It's not necessarily for the cloud, right? But with those best practices, and then they can slowly, what we call, strangle the monolith, which means gradually move their monolithic applications to more modular service based applications based on a microservices architecture, based on container technology, etc. And the idea is, we want to reduce the cognitive load for our customers by making sure that we simplify it as much as possible, simplify it for them, so that they focus on the business innovation, and we abstract away the complexity for them with all the underlying efforts they're doing. And even when we look at how we have to bring Gen AI to our customers, we are very careful to make sure that it is responsible AI, it is ethical AI, which means the content that we are using to train our models, that customers will then use through prompts, etc., natural language, to be able to create their playbooks for automation. For example, in Ansible, we make sure that they are able to understand where that content is coming from, the content, the data that was used to train our models. So these are some of the ways that we are advising customers as they embark on the journey.
But if somebody is looking to start their digital transformation journey, what's your advice to these kind of clients, particularly in terms of leveraging open source technology effectively?
So what we tell them is, our recommended strategy is very clear: open hybrid cloud. For architecting, developing, or operating your hybrid mix of applications, your hybrid mix of environments, because we want to make sure that it has to be truly flexible. You need a single open IT architecture from the heart of your data center to the farthest edge of your network. You need an architecture that allows you to build once and run anywhere, you know and you should be able to source innovation from any part of the ecosystem, right? Innovation can come from the client, from the partner, from vendors, from communities, right? And we believe this is the way organizations can future proof themselves and get started somewhere. And if they have to get started somewhere, then we say that open standards and open source will become the best bet that they can actually take, because no two companies are going to solve their unique challenges in exactly the same way, right? So this becomes a way by which you can fully leverage the opportunities that today, I mentioned 5G, edge computing, AI, machine learning, all that is coming, right? And if the task sounds very daunting to our customers, then we recommend that they use the services of some of our partners like Kyndryl, because they have deep expertise, they know best practices, and they have the ability to act as that competent partner for some of our customers as they embark on the transformation journeys, because they can advise them on how they can go about that journey in a seamless manner, because each one's journey is completely different, right? And the classic challenge that many businesses today face is, they say they don't have enough time to implement the very changes that are actually going to bring them the productivity gains. Okay, and that is where the organizations have to really make that investment so that they can really focus on what is important to them, and then be able to leave the rest to the experts that can actually help them on that journey.
Thank you so much, Amita and Dharni Balan, for explaining how it really works in the real world and the power of the innovations taking place in the open source world. I never knew that this is something that can be utilized for enterprises as well to be able to springboard the innovation themselves and bring in a greater efficiencies. This is a great learning. Thanks to both of you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
As we draw to a close on this enlightening session of unlocking business potential with open IT innovation, we have journeyed through the vast landscape of transformative exploration, guided by the insights and expertise of our esteemed industry leaders, Dharnivaran Gurunathan and Amita Roy. Their perspectives have given a lot of light on the significance of open IT innovation in driving business growth and agility, showcasing the power of collaboration and leveraging open source technologies to overcome challenges and seize opportunities. So, this was a great discussion. We had great insights. Let's carry forward the spirit of innovation and collaboration, embracing the ever evolving landscape of business with enthusiasm and resilience. With the knowledge gained from this session, may we all embark on our respective journeys armed with newfound strategies and inspirations to unlock the untapped potential within our organizations. Thank you to our distinguished speakers, to our partners, and to all participants for your active engagement and contribution in this enlightening dialogue. Until we meet again on the next transformative exploration, goodbye and all the best for your continued success in unlocking business potential with open IT innovation.